On the day of her engagement, the woman's fiance skipped her entirely and publicly proposed to a rich new woman instead. He then openly flaunted their relationship in front of the media, smearing the woman as a ruthless, scheming old spinster. The next day, the company's stock price plummeted. Yet the scumbag man still brazenly showed up to unilaterally terminate their business marriage, claiming that the new woman was already pregnant with his child. Without a second thought for the woman's feelings, he arrogantly left with the new woman by his side. Seeing this, the woman immediately convened a meeting and ordered the termination of all cooperation with the scumbag's company, activating the highest-level penalty clauses. She intended to make him go bankrupt on the spot and return to having nothing. It turned out that in the past, the scumbag had been so destitute that even his own organization couldn't be saved. Back then, the woman had spent a huge sum to acquire his organization, then returned it to him intact. Her only condition was that he enter into a business marriage with her. After reaching the agreement, the woman used her connections and resources to prop up his company, accompanying clients to drink every day until she was practically vomiting blood. They once shared moments of quiet warmth. Once the scumbag finally gained a stable foothold, he coldly pushed the woman aside and turned to a younger, prettier new woman. He felt the new woman was simple, pure, and admired him unlike the woman, who was calculating and always one step ahead of him. He even slept with the new woman during the engagement banquet. The woman remained calm. She gave him two choices: continue the engagement, or watch his company go bankrupt. But the scumbag arrogantly believed he had secured everything and no longer needed her help. Not only did he publicly propose to the new woman, he held a press conference the next day. At the conference, he accused the woman of being a control freak who dominated every detail of his life and work. He portrayed himself and the new woman as tragic lovers forcibly torn apart, attempting to cover up his own ingratitude by smearing her. How could the woman allow him to succeed? She rushed straight to the press conference. "What exactly are you trying to do? You and your mistress deliberately staged this show, fabricated public opinion to label me a control freak, and even announced you were cutting ties with the Sue Group to start your own company." She then publicly announced that she was freezing all of the scumbag company's external asset control rights. As soon as she finished speaking, his assistant informed him that all company assets had already been frozen. Suppliers were unable to receive payments and planned to jointly sue. The scumbag was furious and accused her of having no such authority. Calmly, she produced a signed agreement stating clearly that as the company's largest shareholder, she had the right to freeze all asset control rights. It was the very agreement he had personally signed when she helped resurrect his company. He was left speechless, angrily accusing her of having guarded against him from the very beginning. She replied that the freeze only applied in cases of contract breach and demanded proof that he hadn't violated the agreement. The new woman jumped in, insisting that unless proof was provided, the woman was merely acting out of spite and demanded she kneel and apologize. The scumbag also played the victim, begging her to stop fabricating facts to control him again. The crowd began criticizing the woman, calling her despicable for forcing a good man this way. The woman replied coldly, "If I didn't come prepared, why would I show up at all? Bring out the abnormal transaction records and the financial statements from the past few years." The financial reports were displayed. Every page showed losses. People gasped. "Aren't these all losses? Didn't Miss Wen just say the company was thriving under President Gu?" She introduced the company's chief financial officer, who swore on his integrity that all the data was real and jointly audited by the finance departments of both companies. He revealed that if the woman hadn't arrived in time, not only would Gu's company have been drained dry, even the Sue Group would have been hollowed out. He also accused Gu of intending to push the finance staff out as scapegoats. Someone in the audience recognized the CFO and confirmed his identity. The crowd erupted.